Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Today at the Races at Laurel Park. Naomi, Tucker, Keith, Fustel. Keith, I'm fresh as a daisy, and that
Yeah,
intro music is really getting me going. How are you
it's
doing?
as I emailed John the other day. I like the spot a lot. Good start. Good start. Get you pumped up a little bit for the card. Absolutely, kind of adjusting to the time change. I woke up about 7 different times, just making sure I wasn't late. So yeah, but the good thing about having animals is, I guess in the morning they're always going to be there to wake you up. So that's the good thing.
That's not how I look at my cat when she
Yeah.
wakes me up, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I've got a dog, 2 cats. The kids got everything around there, so it never stops.
Let's talk a little bit about all the
Okay.
action from yesterday. We'll talk at the back end of the show in the lightning round a bit further about it as well. But I did pick two races to just briefly
All right.
recap, and that was the third race, Beyond the Wire. Little Stitches came in for Tom Amos. Sheldon Russell aboard, and that was a grinding effort. You see Frodler in charge there in front, looking like she's about to go and get her elusive stakes victory. But
Mm-hmm.
Little Stitches, she's tiny, but she's fierce.
Yeah, and sat a very good trip. The duel developed up front. I didn't really kind of see that coming, but they were aggressive with fraudulent charge up towards the front. Street Loot down inside just couldn't quite make the trip. But you said it perfect. A grinding type of a run. It wasn't like that big acceleration. It was just, hey, she's had the bottom under. Some of those tougher races to Ferris. I was against her. Amos. I guess he shipped up for the reason and got it done. Very good ride, Sheldon. Very good day for Sheldon as well yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get
Hmm.
to that in a second. But Tom Amos, I do believe it was only his second starter
Yeah.
at Laurel Park. So
Hmm.
obviously a wonderful achievement, and congratulations to the connections as well, who were in attendance, came up from
Oh,
Ohio. And
okay.
we're so pleased to see their little Fitty achieve her second stakes win
Hmm.
of her career. So we'll move on to the other 3-year-old event here. Race number 8, the private terms, where
Right.
Shackled Love was quite the upset. 2 runners in here for Gary Capuano, and I must admit I was on the wrong one.
Yeah, and this is when you go back and I looked at the morning line, and I've got 6-1 on this horse, and you look up on the board and was laying around 30 for a long time. I'm like, what did I miss? What did I miss? Obviously, I don't really think I missed a whole lot there. I mean, 6-1. You got a serious overlay there on this horse at 21-1 or so. That last race was good. Battled through quick internals, and if you break down that final quarter was sub 25 at the 1 turn mile. That's a good final quarter on this racetrack. So, yeah, that horse was completely not out of the realm of possibilities, especially if you're looking for value. That's what we always say. There's just not that much separating. I've got a horse lined at 6, and it's 20.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
getting
you got to
value.
bet a couple bucks. It's not
Yeah.
like I'm a fly by night kind of guy. I've been doing this stuff for a little while, and if I've given a little bit of respect there, we're going to miss sometimes, but that was a generous price. Take the shot. You get beat, you get beat. Guess what?
I
You
mean,
only
that
need to hit one every couple
Yeah, that was a
one every
tough race
10.
to handicap. There were
Yeah.
so many horses in there that were all kind of on that similar level. Who's going to take that next step forward? And
Hmm.
to be fair, Shackled Love, when I was looking at them walking around in the paddock, he
Yeah.
was kind of the taller, leggier one that
Okay.
really does get sort of that two-turn trip quite nicely. And I
Hmm.
remember thinking, oh, he looks kind of good. And I'm looking there going, okay, 2 for Gary Capuano, but he came in because of the scratch card on the Friday, so it's kind of all like a last minute,
Yeah.
give him a chance. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
wonderful having him in there and stepping up to the challenge.
Hmm.
Let's talk about some of the carryovers that we're
Sure.
looking at. I mean, there is some prize money on, oh, not prize money, excuse me, betting money on offer here. $13,587 in the Rainbow Pick 6, which starts in race number 4. Tim created a ticket for us, and I mean, Tim came back yesterday. He hit the ground running, so I can't wait. I'll walk you through that ticket in just a second. And then, of course, the Stronach 5, which has been moved to next Friday. Brilliant carryover,
Yes.
nearly $155,000. I mean, how much are we looking forward to that?
Yeah, that's going to be big. All eyes on the Stronach 5, no doubt, on Friday. Yeah, we said it. At least a $500,000, I got to think, is going to be in that pool, and you've got plenty of time to get started. We're drawing today for the races here on Friday.
Oh, exciting. Get your homework done. Of course, beat the Exeter. I'm afraid I don't have the results in
Okay.
just yet. I was hoping to get them beforehand, but I do think Tim would have been tough to beat yesterday. I do believe he had 5 winners
Very
on
good.
top. So, like I said, Tim made a wonderful start. Of course, we'll be back again next Saturday with the same contest. It'll be a lot of fun there as we'll kick things off here with the first race of the day. Except, of course, we also have the track conditions,
Yeah.
as
Okay.
I just remembered myself. And what a beautiful day once again. We got so lucky yesterday. I was outside most of the day. The track was fast. Did you see anything in terms of how the track was playing, Keith?
No, I thought for the most part, it was pretty fair. Maybe a little lean, slight to being up within range, top of stretch, possibly. You saw Car Lady slice through along the rail early in the car. Then you saw a couple horses kind of wider trips got it done. Let's kind of look. Cordmaker was up close. Worsham would go up close. Glory March came from out of it a little bit. Kissed the girl from mid-pack. So all in all, maybe if you're talking a slight lean towards being fairly close. But Car Lady came from way back.
Yeah, and Car Lady, of course, Alexander Chavez, that was his
Yeah.
first ride in the United States, and he made it a winner. So, a
Mm.
wonderful story, and massive congratulations to the Panama native as well.
Made an impression on the chart colors upstairs. Our biggest pet peeve is if you don't want to save ground, we don't want to bet on you. So you got to save ground. It's just key. I know that sometimes the track will play a little differently. Maybe it forces your hand, but I want to see somebody who wants to try to take the shortest trip home.
Yeah, and clearly Jose Corrales connection with him there, and now he's on a couple more horses for him today. So yeah, wish him best of luck with his rides coming up.
Good.
As we'll now kickstart the day here with the first race, which also is the start of the early pick 5 sequence. Industry low 12% takeout, and of course the late pick 5 starts in race 5 as well. We have 9 races on offer. As we kick things off here, first race starter allowance here for 4-year-olds and upwards of 5.5 sprinting dash, and both of us landed on the same runner here, the number 2 Belta Pissery. He's in for the tag today, and we do have a video of his last effort, which was against tougher, I'd say, than what he's going to encounter here.
Yeah, I mean, off the claim, right? Claimed on November 27th by one Kieran McGee, owned by
Yep.
Kieran McGee, and he has struck twice with this runner. A good trip, rated close, and was able to kind of go by, a little lugging in through the stretch. Only, I guess, real concern as you look, this horse has been scratched twice since this victory, but this kind of layoff is a high percentage move, a good positive ROI move for Kieran, and he holds kind of the level, right? He's made money. Kieran likes money, right? We all like money.
We all like
I mean,
money.
he could be even a little bit more aggressive. Finds a good spot again here. A couple scratches, the 1A and the 5. So I think he just maintains close enough form, and he's going to be awfully tough to deny.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So I have him on top as well. He used the number 4 uplifting underneath. Also ran against much tougher last time. But you're looking at Fortunate Friends, How Past Premier Star comes in here at the starter level. I feel like he's got a shot at, but we haven't seen him in 220 days.
Now, this older guy, he is pulled some shockers, though, in the past, and he's gotten a lead and he's gotten brave. He gets a little bit of an assist with the scratch of Cowboy Miz, who I thought was going to bring pace pressure. Yeah, he's got races on the page, and even off of layoffs that kind of work for me, where I think he's a dead scent type of horse. Victor, get him out, try to get him clear. I think he can take him a long way.
Yeah, Victor, of course, yesterday, excuse me, wrong Victor there, Victor Rosales on uplifting. I was going to say Victor Carrasco did so well yesterday with the cord maker sending him to the front, but Victor Rosales has done quite nicely himself as well. So we'll move on to the second race, which kickstarts the Super High 5, for which we also have a carryover on offer, $6,397. Pick the first 5 home in the correct order, and you take out the pot. But certainly worth a shot and fun to play. But of course, also, Keith, you created an early pick 4 ticket, and I know that you always look at which sequence you think you might have a strong opinion, or that there's some price plays you can use.
I've got a little bit of value, I think, spread amongst this ticket, $24 ticket. Not an easy card today. There were some difficult races to get through from a line standpoint, even handicapping. I go 1, 3, and 4 in here. I think Tarj is going to take a ton of play. I don't think she's a slam dunk. 2 deep in the third. With the 5 and the 6, we've got a stat for Hammy's horse, Aloysius Luck. Race 4, 40, 1, 2, 3, 5. This race gave me a real tough time here. Sammy Sunshine, I came in a little strong on the line. She's got positional speed to drop in class, but Yeah, I think a horse like 2 Carat might be good in here. Race 5, the 5 and the 9. 57 Chevy is a blow up, and the 9 Bandolini. We're going to try to beat the morning line fave. Pardon the pun.
Yeah,
There you
good
go.
luck with that one. I like the setup here. Like go deep where you think you might have a price player coming in, because there's definitely a couple of races today that I was looking at this going, there's a fair few horses that easily can step up and
Yeah.
win here, but which one is it going to be? So I definitely would have gone deep in certain spots
Mm-hmm.
as well. Race number 2, 3-year-old fillies claiming 40,000 going at 7 furlongs. Keith, your top selection is actually mine as well. Chloe Rose was my prize
Yeah.
pick because I saw the 6-1 morning line
Mm-hmm.
on a Brittany Russell runner that just she was on the rail in the thick of quite a fast pace
Mm-hmm.
last time out, and she showcased that she has early speed. I think the cutback's going to suit her here. She just tired later in the stretch, and I can tell that Sheldon was like, all right, this is not our race, and kind of let her just, roll out. So hence you see that she was well beaten, but he didn't ask her to really finish off any strongly afterwards, which I agree with that. I think if you're not in it for any of the the place money or anything, why give them a hard time? Just come back
Yeah.
for a next try.
Yeah, a little protect, I guess. But yeah, Targe. I just think that the drop in the kind of the numbers and was in front of a horse that came back to win in Taylor's Chrome. Certainly going to take a lot of play. He doesn't have a lot of pure speed. He's broke a little slow last time, so it'll be interesting the kind of trip he'll get. I think he'll be in range and make a run, no doubt, make an impact. But Chloe Rose, I think, does offer a little value. She's never really run fast. Now, I mean, you really look at her buyer figures. Her debut race, a closing effort, but that field was a little soft. I went back. Nobody's done a lot, but visually good. Second out. Time just so. So, right, a second time Lasix. Forgive the last. Here's my question. Was she jump on a van that she wasn't supposed to be on? Right, she ends up in Florida, right, working. I mean, did something happen? But she ends down there. She's working on the grass. A couple good works, and there really wasn't a lot of turf there in the fountain. I don't know. Maybe just give her a little freshening. Spark the interest a little bit. So I'll
Look, I'm
take
with
the.
you there. I have no answer. It
Yeah,
does
well,
pique
I
your
thought you'd
interest,
have
right?
the answer, but no. But anyhow, maybe Brittany. But yeah, get a little sunshine down in Florida. Why not? Chloe Rose, right. I think she can make a run from mid-pack in here. She doesn't have the speed to go with the one. The one's going to be the
Yeah.
speed of the speed, and she's going to take him quite a bit in here.
Yeah, I use Shakaboom underneath as well as the inside speed stretching out for the first time to 7 furlongs. I think she's going to be super aggressive there from the inside and hold on as long as possible. She did tire a little late in her last effort at Penn. She had the win there by 1 length, but I just, visually you can see that she's
Right.
starting to get a little bit wary and
Yeah.
looking for the wire there. So wonder how far she's going to take
Mm-hmm.
them here. But a nice little race to get you guys going with in the Rainbow Pick 6.
Okay.
Excuse me, in the early Pick 4, of course. And then race number 3, maiden special weight for the 3-year-olds as well, going the 1-turn mile in here. And the number 2, Rippolino, we have a stat on him in this spot. Not a stat, excuse me, quick 9 days turnaround from his last effort here that we do have a video of. He trailed the field up until the final furlong. He wasn't even in shot until the final furlong, and all of a sudden he comes in the center of the track with quite a close.
Yeah, he's a horse that wants the more ground. He didn't take a lot of play in this, but I thought it was a decent return. And I think you can kind of trust him to get the distance all right. I like the finish. Dave Rodman kind of talked to me about this horse, picked him up. He says, Rippolino, I thought really liked the, way he finished. He says he's purely a miler kind of a horse. So
Yeah.
and you see the company lines that he's kept. He works in here for me. I've got him underneath. Top selection for me is the 6. Aloysius Luck here for Ham Smith and Men's Grill Racing. Second time Lasix up close to a very quick pace and still churned on willingly. Back out to a route of ground. We have a stat here for Hammy Smith that I like. It's a smaller sample. Caught my eye, though. Last 3 years, 4 for 9, 44%. Second Lasix with the 3-year-old maidens going long on the dirt. There's the ROI of 455. Company line's okay. You see Hello Hot Rod, Dr. Ferber, but that last race, willingly enough, Portal One's a horse that's come back and run pretty fast. I like this horse stretching back up. I think he's part of the flow a long way in here. He's going to make him work for it up front.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I was looking at that last race. I felt like he was just a little bit against the flow. They weren't going as fast in the middle sections. He did
Yeah.
make a move,
Hmm.
and he showed indeed willingness late. And was he kind of like moving up through the field
Yeah.
there? So I thought if he can kind of continue on that level,
Hmm.
he'd be a nice, hopefully a bit more valued and going with some of the shorter priced horses in here. I use the number 8 as well. You use
Hmm.
number 5, Imagine Hong Kong for Gary Capuano. See, this horse is interesting. On his debut, I liked him like as a first time starter.
Hmm.
Ran incredibly, but then kind of didn't have a strong race last time out. Perhaps getting back out to the mile will suit him because he hasn't gone that far yet. He kind of, didn't have much speed at all last time out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I know one thing: bottom side, that family, they can get the route of ground, no issues there. And Gary Cap's angle, year in and year out, has been second time starter, so you expect a little bit more. This horse did encounter some traffic, had to zig and zag through the stretch a little bit. I think the 2 sprints now going long, that's good enough for me. Imagine Uncle was well meant in debut and well meant second out. I think he's going to definitely improve off of that last start.
Yeah, I have Dream Big Dreams in second as well for trainer Brittany Russell. He went up to New York, and I think just possibly getting back to his home track, an easier track, a less deep track, might just bring him back to the form or the promise he showed on his debut there. Well beaten behind Manor House. We all remember Manor House
Yeah.
jumping up on the first time and absolutely wiring them by about a panel. But Dream Big Dreams, I'm hoping for him to come back and show a little bit more as we'll continue with race number 4 for the fillies. Beaten nickel level here, 7 furlongs. At the start of the Rainbow Pick 6, we have a wonderful carryover here, $13,587 kicks off right in race 4. And Tim has a Rainbow Pick 6 ticket as well that quickly will walk you through. Goes 4 deep in here, 1, 2, 3, and 8. 3 deep in the next race here using the 1, the 4, and the 9. I know that the 1 part of the pun is his top choice in that event. And in race 6, he goes 3 deep again. So he's quite spready at the beginning here. 3, 5, and 6. And then in race 7, he uses the 5, the 6, and the 8 as well. And in race 8, he starts tightening down a little bit there. He uses the 2 and the 8 in that spot. And then in race 25, excuse me, I was just looking for the 5 there. Decoupage, I use myself as well. Jamie Ness mare that comes in here off the back of a very, very good run. I use his number 2, Trunk of Money, as a speed influence in that spot. Then his single comes in race 9. The number 4 here, Welling, Kieran McGee trainee, who has posted some very decent figures in the past. Last 2 races just has trailed off a little bit, but I think getting out to the mile trip is going to suit him just fine because he is a big horse and he grinds it out and he try. So I like his single, gutsy, but I like Welling. I've always been a fan of him. So $43.20 there, which I think is a very fair value for a Rainbow Pick 6 ticket here. Let's get going with race 4. I created a middle pick 4 ticket as well. You can find that on laurelpark.com. You can find Tim's ticket and Keith's ticket on laurelpark.com as well. And I'll tweet out my selections later for those that missed our wonderful morning show. Race number 4, fillies, nickel claimers here, 7 furlongs the distance, and you landed on the number 3, 2 Carat here with Alexander Chavez aboard, who we just mentioned made his first ride a winner yesterday.
Yeah, he's going to be hungry, and hopefully he can save some ground. This is another very difficult race to get through. I think you first have to look at the 5. What do you make of that try at Charlestown? New barn last time out. Certainly capable, but now the drop back right to the nickel condition off of some okay tries, I guess, for open 12-5 at Gulfstream. I think she's going to be a factor on her just off of it. There's not a lot of true speed. I think Splendor Gal might kind of get the feel that she likes here and gets to kind of carry that speed a little further. But 2 Carat intrigues me. I thought she ran quite well last time. Wide every step, a little move into a softer pace against Bring Me Answers, an okay back class kind of a horse for me. So she's got races on the page, sprinting. Yeah, she shows sometimes she drops way back, sometimes she's up close. What's she going to bring today? I'd like to see her about maybe 3 or 4 out of it mid-turn, and I think she can bring a finish against this group that'll get it done. And I tell you, Corrales has been sneaky good off the claim over the last several months. High ROI, good percentage. So 2 Carat in the new barn at a square price.
Yeah, I used the number 4 Instinctive on top. Charlie McKenzie, of course, riding high off the back of his first ever stakes win yesterday. We'll touch upon that just in a little bit as well. For Mary Epler, I think she's going to show a fair bit of speed. And she's shown that she doesn't actually need the lead. She can kind of be like right there and hopefully continue. And I think stretching out to 7 furlongs, she showed she can stay on the turf. I'm hoping she's going to translate it here. But trying to find a bit of a price, 6-1 there. This is a field to me that you can hopefully get a bit of a price on the horse. And because they are, in my books, all quite quite closely matched. I do really like 2 Carat underneath as well, because as you mentioned, Jose Corrales at this level has been very, very strong. You can tell he brings horses back at the right level, places them aggressively, wants to get that win and that return on investment. And who can blame him, to be
No.
quite fair? As we'll just go out for a quick message, but we'll be back with race 5.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground on her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Day of the Races, Laurel Park. Keith Fustel, Naomi Tucker, we're here to guide you through this Sunday card. I hope you brought a cup of coffee and are chilling out at home. We did that in the morning, right, Keith?
That's
Sort
exactly right.
Race number 5, we'll get going here. Claimers 5,000, no win is it to Lifetime. Both of us went towards the outside here. The number 9, Bandolini, for Mikey Corrales. Had a break, but I feel like that's what this gelding needed. It seems like he was going just a little bit in the wrong direction, and perhaps a little refreshing works for him. Now, he looks like he missed a work in February. He has one on the 6th of February and then a 26th, so 20 days in between. Wonder if they had a slight hiccup before a strong 101 from the gate, which I thought was decent enough for this level.
Yeah, I mean, here's a horse they claimed almost 2 years ago for 16. Thought it was going to pan out a little bit better. Ran that one big race. Galloped here for the maiden 10, then a little break. Nothing really since. But the freshening and the protect move here by Mark Lapidus, the owner. I mean, good, sharp guy there. Claims a lot. Well, he's been claiming horses for a long time. Does a lot of research. So I'm going to respect that they're still going to protect. Okay, takes advantage of that. Positional speed works perfectly for me. I like the draw. Horse like Pardon the Pun took quite a few times to break the maiden. I think he can kind of hound that horse and make a little separation move around the turn, maybe top of the stretch. So, yeah, I like Bandolini fresh. Blow-up price, you've got the 5 in there too. Well, you've been looking at my picks.
Definitely,
Huh?
always.
57
I
Chevy.
remember 57 Chevy. I used to see him work on the track at the beginning when I just got here. What was it, January, February 2020? And I just remember that I always thought he was a handy little looking horse.
Yeah.
Now he's completely tailed off, but I'm just hoping he does something.
He showed
There's my angle, Keith.
Yeah, there you go. Well, he showed a little late life last time, believe it or not. Took well back off the pace. You see that the Comet altered well wide with finish on a sloppy sealed racetrack. Now we're going to get a fast track. As a horse that beat, what's the chances, on the go back? What's the chances? A horse that's been favored in a lot of these kind of races. So why not as a price? And Hammy, when you least expect it, here he comes rolling. So I'm not going to get beat by that horse.
Well, also, as you mentioned, I'm taking the connections as well, because I feel like Hamilton Smith certainly is capable of turning these horses around and just getting them back to the level that they've performed at in the past, because also a very strong maiden 10 score, and then just kind of struggled against winners here. But maybe he'll turn him back around today in a group that I think is just coming up a touch soft there. I do use the number 1, Pardon the Pun, in second, because I do think he is in better form than 57 Chevy. And he's going to try and take them all the way. And 2-1, I'm hoping maybe you'll get a bit better on that, or you think it's going to line up like that?
I think he's going to get play. I mean, he won kind of convincingly last time, and looking of the flow of the race, just not a lot of horses that want to kind of be up with it with natural speed. And Charlie suited him well last time. I tell you, he nursed him, and they went at okay internals for that kind of level. He did it well within himself and finished up. Different little kind of horse that day. Now, granted, let me get the date on that race. 25th speed, definitely a speed lean that day, so they carried him. So, that's why a little bit vulnerable for me, but riding that bias last time out. So kind of put me over the top with the 9.
Well, he's got a bit of experience coming into this. As you mentioned, ran second 4 times before finally being able to break his maiden. I was just happy he broke his maiden that day. But as you mentioned, just not that much speed in here. So I felt like, Pardon the Pun, that could set things up quite nicely for him, as we'll get going with race number 6, a maiden 10 event, going the shortest distance that we're currently carding here, 5.5 furlongs. And you landed on the number 8 towards the outside, who I use in second as well, Scottsdale. The blinkers go on, Jeremiah O'Dwyer. Big drop in comparison to what he's run at before, made in special weight the 50 to 41 here at Laurel, then went up trying his luck at Penn National and had just a little freshener here. Comes back at the lowest spot he possibly can.
Yeah, this is kind of like a little give up, right? Here we go. Let's get to the bottom and try to get this horse's
test of fire.
Maiden broken. And spent $120,000 on this son of Super Saver. Ran okay in debut. We kind of got in his own little match race with Spicer Red, who came back to run better for higher levels. Just really hasn't panned out. But I did look at the race last time. It came away a beat slow. I had to be kind of hustled up into it. The blinkers go back on. The Lasix on. Again, some questionable speed types inside. He should be perched to make a run mid-turn.
Yeah, possibly maybe inject the light moves forward or Munzano, but you're right. A couple that could show a little speed, but we'll figure it out as the gates open. He's at number 5. Here comes Rudy for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. I wonder if he's named after him. I thought that was quite intriguing. Had also another runner in here that had a bit of a break. We see a couple of horses coming off long breaks today. 5 months, steep drop in class from that maiden 40. Now comes in as a gelding. Was reported gelding on March the 11th. Yeah. Hung a little bit late. Had to get corrected. I thought that's possibly the reasoning. He didn't finish out as strongly, but still has to do better, though.
No doubt. This class really should pick his head up, though. You got the gelding, the Lasix angle, a barn that's done. Yeah, hasn't won a lot recently, but has done well with horses off of layoffs. And another one, so they're saying, hey, a little bit of a give up here, pretty quick. Let's try to be aggressive and get a win. So, I could definitely see here comes Reedy. Works okay. Family, you know what's interesting to me? The way they kind of protected this horse first out. Spent $5,000, looked at the family. There wasn't really a whole lot there. A couple winners, but nobody ran really fast. So, obviously they thought a little bit more of this horse, I thought, early on. But not now. They're gonna get aggressive and try to get it done. But yeah, inject the light. Second off the claim has been a good angle for Mancia. Speed's there, but he's gonna have to deal with a horse like the 3, vastly improved last time out.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good performance of Keep Your Guard Up last time. I was aggressively ridden throughout, under pressure the entire way. Got close to the lead, 3 wide when everyone was driving. I just tired a little bit late in the stretch. I think he can improve off the back of that. As we'll get going with race number 7, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claiming price of 25,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price 32,000 to 25. The 1-turn mile here. Now, this is a race I'm actually looking forward to. I'm really intrigued by this race. We do have a video of the number 7, Dinosaur Ben, who looked all the way the winner last time out, but then kind of made a move that, got him the DQ there.
Yeah, a little lugging in there in mid-stretch. We're going to pick it up, leaving about the 3/8 to the 5/16. And I tell you, he's just kind of measuring the speed here. Farron Peterson just kind of went up to him without a ton of effort, really kind of looking. She doesn't really get the riding till right past the quarter pole. And this is when things get a little bit dicey here, a little drift in, causing the 3-horse to the inside to steady and check past the 8th pole. But it looks like he's kind of found his spot on the dirt with that blowout win at Charlestown. And take nothing away, I mean, a little erratic there, but he was game to the wire. Order for Borky got a good fig off of this race. Looked at a couple different publications. So Dinosaur Ben, I think his speed to kind of sit just relax off of a horse like Degas, who's going to be pretty quick up front, this 4-horse.
Yeah, I'm just hoping he's going to be a touch more professional here, possibly maybe get over to the rail and get that guidance because he needs it. But if he can use his energy to keep going forward instead of going inwards, I think he'd be a nice little horse in here. You use Mine Not Mine on top. Of course, Mine Not Mine was so well regarded at the beginning of his career, ran in the Miracle Woods, second and in the private gyms. I just remember him as the horse that you wouldn't see until the last half furlong, and all of a sudden he came running late. Now comes back in as a gelding. I wonder if that's going to bring him forward because I've seen him. He's very tall, but he was never heavy. So I just wonder if it's like a focus thing or they just wanted to try something with him.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a reach. And I'm just, they're not completely giving up. They're giving him this one last shot.
Yeah.
And I like some of the company that he kept. So if this gelding move picks him up a little bit, he's gonna making a run into this flow and be a factor. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll get
tough
going
combo there. Brittany and Sheldon.
Brittany and Sheldon, they partnered up for 2 races yesterday. Of course, Sheldon himself had 3 on board. just from stats point of view alone, if you just continue backing them, you do quite nicely.
Yeah.
And Brittany currently at 31%, which is one of the highest of any trainers that are on site at present. I think Jerry Robb is at 30% hitting as well, as we still have a couple of days left in the meet here. So yeah, a couple of very hot bonds here. So we'll move on to the 8th race of the day. Optional claimer, second level here, 5.5 furlongs carded. We'll start with our top selection here. The number 4, Gifted Heart, comes in here for Phil Schoenthal. This affiliate, of course, ran in the Maryland Million Distaff. I thought she wasn't completely tuned up for that because I think they had her on the jogging machine for a little bit in the days leading up because something went wrong. But then she came back after a break and she did very well at this level here. And you do have a video of that.
It was a good race. She was kind of keen to go early, and then Jack did a good job. Rosali said, "I'm just going to take back, get you to relax, and go ahead and stalk," and went ahead after Bunting, who was pretty quick in her own right. And Gifted Heart's going to have this rating gear again today, Naomi. I'm a little worried about the break after this win, but man, she's perfect at the distance. 4 for 4. I got to go right back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, and she shows the ability to come from a little further out of it. There's some horses here that certainly look like they want to be on or near the lead. Slight edge to Gifted Heart in a very contentious 8th race.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this event as well. And then the number 5, Decoupage, we use underneath there. Jamie Ness comes in, Angel Cruz rides, and she was very game last time. I only got beaten by a head there against Deep Red. We do have a video as well that was here over the 6 furlongs, and this is another sort of similar type filly. I feel like Gifted Heart that is going to benefit from a couple moving forward.
Absolutely. You think maybe she's a little bit better off at 6 or 7. This is the day, Deep Red, they'll get in their own little pinball match here past the 8th pole. But hey, she came running yet again. There's Bunting again. So I mean, lots of familiar faces, but she sustains pretty well all the way through. Going to get beat here just a little bit there at the wire by a head. The speed factor here, the plenty of speed is going to set things up nicely for her. I think she pairs back. She could be the favorite based off of that last number, I guess. She didn't take nearly as much play as I thought she would take. I thought she'd take more play. She was dead on the board that afternoon.
Yeah, I used Bunting underneath as well, just if she gets back into form. Some of the races that she's shown, 2-3 back are good enough to get on top here. You use the 7 on the outside as well, who I didn't get to, which is the 6. Is that the 6?
Yeah, that's my bad.
I was like, there is no 7.
That's my bad. Scratched
Charles
out
Frock,
of the stage.
Horatio Caramanos changed rider there. I do believe Farron Peterson was on board, so interesting move.
Yeah, I just like the fact that the Heart she's shown, she's been game, tactical speed, into conjecture, a horse that fits with this kind of group. Why not? And once again, I think she's going to bring you a little bit of value in here. So that's a tough race. 8th race is really tricky. 2 horses strong, so lots of ways to go. It's a spread race for me.
Absolutely. The final race of the day, claiming 16 for 4-year-old and upwards. Known as a 3 lifetime. The 1 turn mile here. I landed on the number 4 in this spot, Welling, as I mentioned. Kieran McGee trainee, a horse that's just so tough. 5-year-old now. Grinds it out. Keeps on trying, keeps on finding. Does have to get back to some of his prior form. But I guess it's a bit more of a pick that I just know what he can do if he's on song. You use him underneath.
It's his last 2. Disappointing for me. This little drop may pick him up. He was up on the lead in some slower fractions, and if he's able to do that, get up close to it, and they're going to slower, he'll dog you to death, and he'll just kind of stay around and grind you into the ground. I'm looking for value. Justice of War, a barn I'm really not familiar with, over 7 last year, but I think pretty credible first off the claim, and then last off the claim was second off the claim was just against the grain of the racetrack. That race stretching back out, there's some in the deep chances there for me to say, okay, this horse is going to be able to go ahead and get the mile. But I like the way he closed into Great Go-Go. Brought a fierce run, bouncing around, worked with the bias last time, but improved speed. So Holy Saint, I think, will go ahead and go bouncing around, just can kind of stay around in here. I don't think he's going to let him get too far away and hang around for a piece, if not the whole pie.
Yeah, and then the number 7 Sky Scanner is most likely going to take all the money in here for Jeremiah O'Dwyer. She's been competing against better and now dropping back down just in search of that win, I think. I mean, she's done nicely at allowance races in her sort of further back in her career. And then she just kind of, couldn't find her old form for a little while. Now sort of the drop back, I think, is them just wanting to get a win on board with her again.
Yeah, this is not a movie makes a lot. This kind of 50% drop. I did look at it last 2 years on the dirt. O'Dwyer's 3 for 6, 4 for 6 in the money. ROI close to $2. Was a vet scratch, reported vet scratch up at Penn on the 26 and a 2 other than optional. But the race at Aqueduct was okay. Didn't look like the inside. Inside was just okay that day, but did encounter trouble. Leaving like the half-mile pole, had to check, but regrouped and kept grinding on. So, yeah, I think he's going to have a circling move to make a run into it. Yep.
Yeah,
Again,
he should be coming back into form a little bit. That's what I was hoping for with that last effort up at Aqueduct. I thought that was encouraging. So, Keith, this is my first time doing the new segment here.
Okay.
Lightning round coming up, giving you whatever's been happening here on the Maryland circuit. And, of course, that includes yesterday. We had Sheldon Russell riding a triple. I mean, what a banner day for him, as we come to expect from one of our leading riders. And as you see him there on where she told me to go, trained by his wife, Brittany Russell, in the Not for Love Stakes. So dominant.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, what was he, 1-2 when it was all said and done? He had to work a little harder than what I thought. You see him staying on that left lead, and Sheldon just aggressive on him past the 16th pole. But he got the setup we thought. The horse that caught my eye, Karen's Notion, I thought ran the best race of everybody in that race. Speed, got checked early, and battled back gamely along the rail. We were kind of a little bit tough on Karen's Notion in the morning show, and he came back and proved me wrong.
See, I had him underneath, but I thought he was kind of a one-trick horse that wanted to go straight to the front and take them all the way. So what he showed, rebounding from a fair bit of a check there, and then to come back and sneak through on the rail, I thought was, showed a new dimension to him. So very happy for trainer, owner, and breeder Nancy Howe with Karen's Notion to run a strong second in there. Of course, a first stakes win for apprentice Charlie Marquez. Congratulations. That was on the long shot, Shackled Love, that we did talk about earlier in the day in the private terms for trainer Gary Capuano.
Great photo there. Is that a Jimmy McHugh photo?
Yes.
He's the best. He's the best, man. Oh man, good stuff right there. And Charlie, he's got a bright future ahead of him. I know he was up in New York. He said he kind of learned a few things, but it was a little tricky trying to get the business rolling. But he's back here. He's going to do just fine.
He's back and riding high. Cordmaker got back into the winner's circle after, I think, his last victory was 17 months ago in the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial. And great credit there to Victor Carrasco and trainer Rodney Jenkins, because Victor just took him straight to the front. We haven't seen him do that in the last couple of starts. He encountered trouble, and he took them all the way. Yeah,
that was what I'd read in a couple of the press releases. He said, "Hey, we need to get this horse's attention grabbed. We need to put him into the flow of the race." He got it. They went past the 5/8 pole, and I kind of muttered something. Bill was calling that chart, and I just said it's over. I said the top three, they're just going to run to the wire together. There was nothing separating. Sure enough, they were going a pretty slow pace, and they just carried it home. Good to see Cordmaker. He's just been a tough competitor for a number of years here. You're rooting for horses like that.
Absolutely. That was a wonderful story. Couldn't be more happy for all the connections. Of course, Stronach 5, we've been talking about this a lot. We'll keep on talking that we have nearly 155,000 carryover coming up on Friday. We'll be diving into this. And of course, the winter meet is nearly over. We still have 7 race days left. Time's been flying, hasn't it, Keith?
It has been flying by. We're getting close. We're getting closer to some warmer weather, consistently warmer weather, some turf racing, some bigger fields, which is going to make my job and your job and Tim's job and Callie's job and everybody's job a little tougher. So even the trainers' jobs when they got to get their horses running against bigger fields. But meet is flying by. We talked about Sheldon. Looks like he's going to make a late push, maybe to go over the top.
Yeah, trying to collar Alexander Crispin, who's out for the month. So, Sheldon keep kicking those 3 winners a day. He might just get there as that wraps it up for us this morning. I'm looking forward to the turf as well, by the way. Yeah. And, good luck today with your selections, Keith. And we'll move on to Dave Rodman with scratches and changes.
Sounds good. Good luck.